Today we're going to try out a new game that has just been released to Alpha, and that's called Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. It's from the makers of the Ultimate General series, Gettysburg and the Civil War, and they're also currently working actually on the, I think, Age of Sail game, Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail. So, but this game is just, I must say, very special to me as well. I'm always very fond of ships in general, and especially the naval race that occurred in the early 20th century, late 19th century. And in this game, your task is to, let's say, develop ships, design ships and combat in these ships within fleets, of course to bring your nation to the premier stage in world affairs. So at the moment this is still an alpha. You can buy the alpha for like $50 at the moment. And the version will be released next year. Let's say the beta version will be released next year on Steam. So thus far we have to suffice with just playing the alpha. But I must say that at the moment the game is already looking pretty okay. It lacks the campaign still, but that might be added again in the next couple of months. But we already have the so-called Naval Academy, which is kind of a scenario system. So in this game, like I said already, you build your, let's say, you design your naval ships depending upon technologies, funds, and also limitations of the vessels themselves. And you want to create a fleet at some point. So I just started with this game. These are the missions that you can participate in. There are quite a lot. There's 21 missions at the moment, ranging from just tutorial versions to the more, let's say, scenarios. And in all of these scenarios you start out with just designing your own ships first. But with that, I think we should just give the next scenario a try, which is the Gun Basics 2 scenario. So the objective here is to destroy a heavily armored target, and in order to test the significance of gun technology and firepower versus a heavily armored battleship, the battleship will fight you back and you must destroy it within the time limit set. You can build either one or a couple of armored battleship or a couple of armored cruisers. So we have a certain limit of funds. We know that the enemy fleet will have one battleship with 20 minutes remaining upon engagement. Of course, our task is to sink all enemies. And we can decide out of 3 different advantages or bonuses. We can optimize our secondary guns, our primary or main guns, and we can opt for a balanced approach. I think we should go for the balanced one. Doesn't impact any of the other objectives. So with that we get into the design menu, as you can see that over here. So in the design menu you just literally design the ships that you want to take into battle, and later on of course the ships that you use to design your fleet, or let's say assemble your fleet. And if you are well familiar with Rule the Waves, either 1 or 2, you know, well, kind of what the creators want to what to achieve with this game. Only this time it's 3D and not just 2D sprites and stuff like that. So in that sense, it's way nicer. If we look at the dry dock here, you can see our ship hull, and here we can see some characteristics of the ship that we can, let's say, choose. So we can choose the displacement, we can choose the speed, or design speed, we can choose the range. Of course for our missions it's not really relevant at the moment, but ultimately the campaign it will be, and the amount of bulkheads. And you can see the tooltips describe kind of well what the advantages and disadvantages of each of these choices is. So the more bulkheads you have, of course, the more survivability and the more flood protection you can get. And each of the ships, which I will also show you, will be separated into compartments, and the compartments can be breached by gunnery, but also of course by torpedoes. It can cause flooding, but also fires, and you can localize those dangers, penetration or leakage or whatever. But of course, the more bulkheads you have, the better you can separate those. Okay, so let's first choose our tactic. Well, I must say I already tried this Battleship 2 hull previously. I think I will go for a so-called hotel on water approach, which is it's pretty ugly, I must say, in the sense that these are, well, the very pre-dreadnought battleship models, but I find it amusing. Let's just give this one a try. It's kind of nicely curved. It's of course a disadvantage later on if you get more, let's say, not crossfire, but plunging fire. Then of course this is a downside, especially over here. But for now it's fine. So okay, let's design something with these. Maybe we can even build 2 battleships. We can also choose for the armored cruiser, which can also be nice, by the way, because then we can also show off the fleet system. But I think we can go for this. Well, let's first build something. Let's see how it goes. So displacement. Let's opt for this. Let's go for a 20 knots battleship, which is for this pre-dreadnought pretty fast already. We can go for very short range because it's not relevant in this scenario. We cannot choose any better engine techniques. We cannot choose any better coal or let's say fuel techniques, and neither for the boilers. We can improve the armor, which we will do. We go for the compound armor, barbettes, which is the protection underneath the turrets towards the magazine chambers. That's a barbette. We can go for a better one, but let's first start out without kitting the entire ship. So I will put on a main tower, which is for aiming and spotting and stuff like that. Let's design one here. You can see already that we have an offset of weight, which will impact the statistics that you can see over here. So here you can see the statistics of the ship, current weight and costs and stuff like that. By the way, here you can also see armor. At the moment we have only one plan, or there's a design plan in place. That's a limitation, of course, still of the alpha version that we are currently playing with, but ultimately the idea is to have several design options, of course, for ships. Okay, so let's build a secondary tower. Let's go for a cheaper version here, something like that. So we have a nice conning tower over here and just a simple one over there at the rear. We can now start to select our main guns. We go for centerline guns, and let's see whether we can get rid of with 13-inch guns. So you can see over here the difference. You can see that's mostly the reload time that really increases a lot with the 13-inch guns. So I would say personally that this is almost twice as much reload time. So I will go for the 12-inch guns here, and we will push those all the way to the back as much as we can, because that will offset the weight. We're now more geared towards the rear, so maybe we can improve it a bit like that. Aft weight offset is still 40%. 14 now, okay, that's okay. So that means that we can even... Yeah, well, it's already much to the front. So let's see. We have to add in, of course, a funnel. Funnels will impact the speed that you can achieve, depending of course of the engine stat as well. Especially acceleration is impacted by the funnels. Because we now have a funnel that is, relatively speaking, well, we have offset to the front or to the rear. So if we add in a couple of funnels like that, hopefully we can offset the weight a bit further. As you can see, the ship is already overweight, so it might be an idea to just remove that or increase the displacement. Okay. Let's see, what else can we do? Because now we can see that the acceleration is 0.002 knots. And deceleration is much higher. I think if we add another... Oh, that's not what I intended to do. Right. So now at least the acceleration is a bit better, but we are still overweight. Well, first let's add some casemates. So we can add only up till 3-inch casemates. So let's put those in. Let's see, we can still make it a bit bigger. What was the limitation of the hull? 16,000 tons. Okay, so we might as well just push it all the way to the limit, and then we still have some room left. We will increase the bulkheads to standard, and then we start to adjust some stuff here. Let's go for enhanced gun reload. We're already at the maximum weight almost. Standard shells is fine. Oh, we can change the way of the powder chambers that are being used. So this is the poorest, it's just regular black powder. We can go for the gun cotton version, which of course improves the cost of shell. Let's say increases the cost of the shells, but of course for us that's not an issue at the moment. It also increases the chances of fire. And here you get into the cordite shells that actually were used in the Battle of Heligoland Blight, and that the British were very much affected by, with Admiral Jellicoe reporting what's wrong with our bloody ships today. So it was the cordite charges that were just left in the open a bit. At least that's what they think at the moment. So if we go for these, we are near the edge, and of course we can still adjust now with the armor. So if we increase the armor, you see the weight will increase a bit. Let's increase the turret armor. The deck armor we can decrease somewhat, because it's not really relevant at the moment. We don't have to be afraid so much of plunging fire with these simple ships. We have standard bulkheads, single bottom. Oh, we don't have any bar beds. I think we can do without. And I think the combat armor is a nice thing to have. So we are roughly at the edge of what we can do. We could spend a bit more money, but I'm afraid that the weight does not allow that to happen so much. So we might as well just continue with what we have. I think we should just launch and see how it goes. Okay, we are the British now. We're up against the Empire of Japan. So that brings us to the battle system. Okay, it's actually very nice, as you can see. You can see that the turrets are currently rotating. I can give commands over here. Let's go let's go 18 knots. We can do a maximum of 20 knots currently. This is not the best model that we are currently using. Here you can see the bulkheads. So the more bulkheads you implement, the more of these chambers I guess you will get. That will allow you to block off damaged sections. Here you can see the reloading that happens. So we have our secondary guns over here, also highlighted. Then we have our 12-inchers, of which we have 2 turrets, of double gun turrets. Let's see. So our enemy is the Musashi. That one actually has 13-inch guns, so it is actually and even has torpedoes. So I fear it is somewhat superior to our ship at the moment. But this game is just out, or let's say released as an alpha. I must say I'm really looking forward to playing this a bit more, and also to see it expand over time. Because now we are just having these scenarios in which we can build our own ships and practice a bit with that already, which is nice. Actually already pretty expensive in that sense, the alpha. But of course the campaign is the real bread and butter at some point. It's too bad of the ricochet. But we did score a good hit there. We should be careful though, because they do have a torpedo as well. Torpedo tube. So we should be careful that they don't torp us. At the moment it still seems to be very good. We are penetrating them, we are a bit on fire, they are on fire. We damage them a bit more than we perceived. Hope that our faster reloads is capable of actually making a difference. So almost reloaded. Now we should be fearful of the enemy. Once they have reloaded their 13-inch guns. We're going to turn as fast as we can. Like I said, the big benefit of these guns, 12-inchers, is that they're a bit faster to reload. It's twice as fast. So. course they are 1 inch bigger in caliber, so they are more heavy hitting once they've reloaded. So we should be pretty fearful once they have reloaded. What's happening there? I think what happens? I think we hit one of their magazines or something. So we are getting the better of them. They are making water. All the compartments are burning or breach penetrated. And at the moment we are doing much better still. They do penetrate us, but also return the face. You see that we have already reloaded once. While their guns are still on the reload, so I think it was a good decision to put in the 12 inches instead of the 13 inches, just because of the insane reload time. They should sink soon, actually. We are 94% in the tank. They are just having very huge issue with again staying afloat, and also the structure is burning and penetrated and destroyed. Engines are gone. Again. They are having big issues with reloading. Our ship is still doing very well, actually. Slow down a bit further. We should just stop. And just finish both. Of course, increase time, accelerate time. Expect them to sink pretty soon. That much damage. They should have lost. I hope that this last salvo can finish them off. Just shy of 7% still to destroy. And then they're gone. Our ship actually looks still pretty okay. Don't see any huge issue. Of course, we didn't put in any secondary guns here. Only the casemates. And the heavy 12 inches. To be honest, I didn't expect that our ship would fare this well. Okay, so hardly a surprise considering how the battle went, but still nice that we managed. Okay, so that was the first mission. The next mission will be about the basics of speed, but I think we will do this one next time. So I hope that you liked this video. Please comment in the comment section, or like this video if you did, or of course do the opposite if you didn't like it. But I think that this game will interest a lot of people. And of course, if you want to see more, make sure that I know of it, and I will try to do the best I can in order to show you a bit more about this game. I will at least, I guess I will still, of course, put up another video about these couple of missions. But I do need to know a bit more of input from others in order to continue with this as a series. So I hope you liked it, and please share it and let me know. And see you again next time.